Sam and I tried out the specialty restaurants. We did the Steakhouse. I have to change my recommendation on the Steakhouse. Back when I tried it on the Panorama, it was amazing, and it was a strong recommend in that video and in Facebook groups when people ask, is the Steakhouse worth it? I was saying yes after having tried that. But now they've raised the prices and removed some of the options. So you're paying more for less. They no longer have the Wagyu option. They no longer bring out the chest of salts, which, honestly, the first time it happened, I was, super anxious because sea salt? I don't know. How many different kinds of salts are there in my culinary universe? There's not a lot. There's table salt, there's sea salt, there's a couple others. That's about it for me. And this was like they were having diamonds or something in a special case. I was half expecting it to be handcuffed to the guy's wrist. It was a wooden chest thing, but they brought it over and they opened it, and I was like, I remember leaning over to Mindy and I'm like, just pick something that I like. I don't know what half of this is. Why is that salt pink? I don't know. Himalayan? I don't need the origin story of my salt.
Himalayan salt. Yeah, I've heard of that.
And I had heard of it, but that's all I knew about it. But at the same time, it was still kind of nice and fancy, and so now you just have the table salt there. And so there was that. They also no longer do the art at the table. And maybe that's a COVID thing. Maybe it'll come back. I don't know. But they used to put down this lucite slab on top of the table, and they would design with compote and chocolate and stuff this art. I think they used liquid nitrogen at one point or something. It was crazy. So they do have this chocolate ball that they pour hot something on, and then it melts and reveals the dessert inside. So there is that option if you're looking to maybe impress a date or have a moment and experience there. But it's much smaller. And so with the higher cost, and comparing it to what we would pay for similar food back home, for a full entree at a reasonably nice restaurant back home, you're getting this, which is it's the entree, the appetizer, and the dessert. So it's a little bit more value than you get back home. But when you consider how much you pay to get on the cruise to merely have access to that, it would be like if there was a cover fee at the local restaurant. And that sort of stuff. So unfortunately, right now, at the current prices and what's being offered, I don't recommend that. Sam and I did try Bonsai Teppanyaki, though, and you heard about this if you listened to our last podcast episode, where I just kind of fell in love with Benihana, and so I'm like a teppanyaki guy now. And so I signed up for that as quickly as I could. That is worth it. That is worth it. It is. You get a show, you get a good meal.
Wow.
It's like what is it? A 7-course meal and a 5-course dessert. Or 6.
Wow.
There were 6 courses in the dessert. It was insane. I mean, it's a bento box with 6 boxes, and each one has a little different dessert. But still, that felt like a great value. And the thing is, the Steakhouse, it's a pretty big venue, and that's another thing. I don't know that they're setting their prices to their supply and demand curve, because half the Steakhouse was empty most of the time we were there. I almost never saw a lineup walking by. So I don't think that it's enticing people. They're not making full use of the space. Whereas Teppanyaki, we had to go at 9 p.m. because that's the only time that was left. And we were looking on day 2 of the cruise to try and book this. And it filled up right away. So
it's very popular. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing, too, is they only have 3 tables in Bonsai Teppanyaki on this ship. Each table sits 10 people. So you can only have 30 people at a setting, versus the Steakhouse that's got a capacity 3 to 4 times that size.
Wow.
So Bonsai Teppanyaki, yes. Strong recommend. Steakhouse, don't fully recommend for the price. Now, I mean, if the money is no concern to you, if money's no object and you don't care about money, you can go check it out. But don't expect an amazing experience. It's got a fancier dress code. It's a little nicer. You do have some more sense of elegance, but not to the degree that I found on the Panorama in 2019.